Okay, so what tactics work or don't work in a street fight? I don't really think this works in what I'm saying, does it? Not really. Basically, people have myths about what can work and can't work in a street fight. We just thought we'd address some of the common urban myths of what works and what doesn't work. So, we did a video on this one, leaning back, that springs to mind straight away. So a common thing is leaning back and thinking, boom, that I can stay out of range. You've got to lean back more, come on, we got to get world star hip hop on this, basically, of just sort of swinging back and throwing punches, right? That's one tactic that doesn't really work, because I gave you the solution to it. I said to you that if the guy leans back, boom, you stamp on his leg, okay? I'll do it one more time, you stamp on his leg, boom, or you stamp on his leg, bang, or you just really go from in a gross motor fashion way. So leaning back doesn't work. Likewise, putting your head down and then hunting and hoping doesn't also work either, bang, because you can't really see what you're doing. The major problem with that is, obviously if you keep your head down and you swing for the hill, swing wildly, is that the guy covers up and he snaps your head down and obviously starts to rag you down into the ground and starts to hit you. That's another common problem. A common urban myth that people think that work. Obviously, we're often talking about people that have sort of developed a fighting style rather than have gone to a boxing gym or MMA school or a martial arts school, traditional martial arts school even, and learnt a blueprint for fighting. What they've done is they've just sort of, I don't know, grown up doing it like most of us have initially and then learnt to do it properly. So that's one way of doing it, I suppose. Another one, someone running straight at you, okay? Charging at you in a straight line, that's a given. I mean, obviously if someone charges at you and starts throwing punches and just really starts going for you in a gross motor, can you just merge towards me in a straight line? It's obviously stepping out to the side. That's an obvious thing to that people tend, a tactic that people think works but doesn't or does not work. This is getting stranger and stranger. What else were you talking about? You said spinning fist, didn't you?
Yeah, spinning fist, so they come off in the jab and they come around and they spin.
That must be Edmonton though.
No.
Are you sure? Because I don't see it around my neck at all.
I've seen it in bum fights and American videos and everything.
Really? Yeah. Like people just going bang, yeah, spinning and hitting. Okay.
Punch, lead and then spin around and then back fist.
Don't do that. All right, because yeah, you could think you could punch and you can do a spinning fist. That's probably more sort of watching, I don't know, maybe watching too many kickboxing videos, tournaments or what have you. It's a wild chance. It's not something I would suggest that you do. It's very risky because obviously, the thing about doing any sort of spinning action, spin like that, if the person's got a presence of mind and they know what they're doing, I'm talking about the person defending, then what they need to do, if you notice what I'm doing, is I'm putting my forearm up behind the back of his elbow. So really essentially what that's doing is it's hyperextending his arm, because as he's throwing this fist, all I need to do is cover up, basically, and brace like this. So as I brace like this, my elbow is going into the back of his arm. So essentially he's oh sorry, you okay?
Yeah.
He's hyperextending his arm. The other thing about spinning, can you spin? Is that if I pivot, I can start to drag him, draw him in, and punch him. Because if you notice, my strategy of teaching self-defense is to close the space as much as possible. The reason why I like to close the space is because I don't want to get hit. Even though I accept I'm going to get hit, and I do genuinely accept that someone's going to hit me, I really don't like it. You know, even though I laugh when I get hit, it's not something I'm laughing. It's just, yeah, not everybody does. So I try to get in, and if you're spinning, then I've got to get in. If I try to move away from the spin, bang, there's a good chance I'm going to get walloped, because obviously I'm going outside the arc. Or you could dip, I suppose, that's one thing to do. Dip, shoot, body lock onto the person, and then just try to break their spinal alignment, boom, by bringing them down. Okay, you've never really experienced this before, have you?
No.
It's quite effective, isn't it? So it works quite well. The problem is, obviously, the guy's going to be grappling, pouring at your eyes and hair and ears and so on.
Yeah.
What was the other thing that we were saying?
You said people trying to do flying kicks at you.
Oh, flying kicks, yeah, flying kicks. Don't do it. Flying kicks, yeah. That's a space thing again, isn't it? You've got this distance and you run out and you kick someone. I'd actually be really interested to have a couple of comments actually. What other things that people think that you can do in a street fight that people do? Because actually maybe we can do some videos on it actually as a follow-up to this video. That'd be really interesting. So if you leave some comments below, and yeah, leave us your thoughts. I think it'd be really interesting, because to me, my experiences are, you know, there's two types of fights or attacks. There's the ego where the guy's in front of your face, he's having a go, as I always say this. And there aren't so many tricks with that. Oh, there is actually one. I experienced this one. I remember when I was a young lad. Look, mate, I don't want any trouble, you know, and he gets in your face and then he steps away. I did a video on this, by the way. He steps away, and as he steps away, comes back, bang! Yeah, that's a really common.
That's a popular one, that one.
That's a really common one. They step away, turn, half turn, as if they're going, just walking away, and then you go bang. Of course, the best thing to do, because I'm being the bad guy here, is that Nick actually hits me as I go like that. He just goes bang. But then he becomes a bad guy, doesn't he, really? So, you know, that's quite common. But we did a video on that, so check that out. I'll put the card up for you on that, where we spoke about people stepping away and what you should do, because I've actually experienced that myself personally, so it's quite a tricky one. Generally, that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'd be really interested on this. Let's do a discussion, because I'd like to do a few more videos on this, and I think a good video would be dealing with urban myths in self-defense or in street fights, what works, what doesn't work, and maybe we can sort of give a little bit of a spiel on what we like to do or what we don't like to do, what works or what doesn't work. Yeah, follow it up.
Let us know your thoughts.
Thanks for watching.